Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Does one have to be a Hindu to gain moksha? No. Moksha, first of all, has to do with you, your nature, and your Swarupa. Your nature, is it to be gained or is it already gained? Already gained. That's one reason. You don't have to be anything in order to gain moksha. Second reason is because it is not based on religion. It is you. Moksha, discussions about liberation from a sense of bondage, they start when all religions throw up their hands in despair. That is when these kinds of deep discussions about the nature of the I start. That is when they unfold. And the end of religion is the beginning of Vedanta. Because religion of any kind has to do with reproducing two things. Reproducing the individual's identity as jnata, knower, pramata, and then as what else? Karta, bhokta. All religions keep the pramata, karta and bhokta alive and kicking. Karta means what? Doer. Bhokta? Experiencer. So they keep these two entities within one constantly alive and on the lookout for prey. In between the prayer, one is preying upon what can I do? What can I get in return? How can I go? Where am I? What should I do? All these things one is keeping on preying upon. And in this way, one is kept intact. Vedanta knocks off not only the karta and bhokta, but also the identity, I am a knower of something. No, the knower, the wanter, the seeker is knocked off. Religion cannot do that. The culmination of religion does that. That being said, within the Hindu tradition, there is something which is very special that makes it a conducive way of life in order to prepare for this knowledge. There is a certain kind of a discipline, and the vision of Ishvara in the tradition is all encompassing, and it has something to reveal, where I have something here to gain. And that, assimilating that, it becomes easier to be on this path, the so-called path. The path is you, the destination is you, everything is you, the traveler is you. But still, it becomes somewhat easier because that discipline is preparing one to assimilate this knowledge without any obstacles. So in that sense, it helps. But then, if one's identity is, I am a Hindu, then for that also has to be given up when moksha is talked about. That's why when sannyasa is taken, all the accoutrements of religion are thrown into the river or the ocean. You don't hang on to any accoutrements. If one is wearing thread, sacred thread, bye-bye. If one is having a tuft, these are all hallmarks of the tradition. That's also gone. Even the name is gone. So, therefore, the letting go of name, form, everything, that is what is Vedanta. That is what is non-dualism. And then, therefore, it doesn't have anything to do with being a Hindu. But having said that, Hindu tradition means it has something that can help me. So I can take the helpful aspects and use that as a ladder to progress, to grow internally, to grow emotionally. I can do that. I can help myself. In Tattva Bodha, Titiksha is given the utmost importance as one of the qualities. Not necessarily. Titiksha is not given the utmost importance. All the things, all the qualifications are given importance. But it doesn't matter. And then there's a further question. What is that? Why is Krishna not asking Arjuna to forbear all injustices done by Kauravas and withdraw from the battle for which Arjuna was desperately trying? Sometimes one's growth is in going against what appears to be the easiest and the path of least resistance. Arjuna need not be told to bear with the injustices of the Kauravas. Why? Because he was already bearing. He had already borne it for 13 years, and even before that. He had already been bearing that. Need not be told, oh, you have to bear with the injustices. Show some titiksha. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam. What did we see in the definition in the Viveka Chudamani? Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparhitam sa titiksha nigadyate. So, he did do a lot of sahanam. He was in the forest, undergoing all kinds of difficulties. No air conditioning, no nothing, no comforts. He was a prince. Let's not forget that. This can't have been easy a life for him. Still, he was doing all the things in the hope that he would get back his kingdom. But that never happened. He was repeatedly fooled, repeatedly fooled, repeatedly fooled. Second reason why Krishna doesn't say forbear the injustices is because that forbearance would come in direct clash with his duty as a Kshatriya. Forbearance is okay, but then there is a duty towards the larger society. It's not even about himself anymore. The whole praja means who? The subjects are under tyranny. They have all been badly tyrannized. And so therefore he can't be told to just keep swallowing. In Tattva Bodha, Viraga is defined as Iha Mutra, Iha Swarga Bhogeshu Ichharahityam, absence of desires in this world and heaven. In the absence of desire for anything in this world, what would be the motivation of doing anything? Won't it lead oneself to akarmanyata? And I don't think the author of this question means akarmanyata in a nice way, complimentary way. So, this is something which is absence of desire for anything, doesn't mean apathy. Vairagya is not apathy. We have to watch out because sometimes it manifests as apathy, I said. But it is not apathy. It is a fullness. And out of that fullness of being, I can say, I don't need this anymore. I can grow out of this. Okay, I may not have experienced this particular thing, but I have experienced something like it. Its brother, its elder sister, its younger brother, all I have experienced. Like anything you take, holiday. Holiday means what are the destinations? Destinations include where bodies of water are, correct? Where mountains are, where trees are, or a combination thereof. What other holiday is there? No, I can go to the desert. Okay, go to the desert. One more thing. Go see and click photos with some cacti. That's all. That's all you can do. So, knowing not to get carried away. Not to get carried away when one more new experience comes into town. One more new experience comes into town, one more kind of a new thing rolls into town, and I want to immediately experience it. But you have experienced something like this many times before. And to know that, to have that viveka, because viveka and vairagya are together, to have that understanding, this will be just like that. And I have experienced that this is not going to be much difference. That is a certain kind of a growing up. This is different from wanting or having the desires for, what is that? The desires to do good in the world or non-binding desires. Ichharahityam for for binding desires. The binding desires first are dealt with, and then one deals with the non-binding desires. And don't worry, how will progress take place in the society? There are many other people in the world without vairagya. For 50 people sitting here, there will be teeming millions of people who don't even know the spelling of vairagya. Or ichharahityam, meaning the absence of longing. That longing is there. And so don't worry. So those kinds of longings and everything, that will be the impetus to do this. But it does not come in the way for impetus to change certain things, injustices in the universe, for impetus to have certain innovations, to make people's lives easy. This doesn't come in the way. Any kind of a thing has to be dispassionate and objective. That is vairagya. All my endeavors are not touched by a pressure. All my ambitions are not led by some kind of a pressure to do something, some kind of a pressure to change somebody, some kind of a pressure to gain something. That is vairagya. It's not about not doing. It's about allowing myself to be. If Atma reveals avidya, and if this fact is understood by the jignasu, avidya then is automatically negated? Shouldn't only jnanam then remain? Yes, but there is a difference between knowing I am in the grip of avidya, there is a difference, and what else? And dismissing the avidya. I am in the grip of avidya when I know it doesn't automatically go away. Baby Adi Shankara was in the grip of the crocodile's grip. And he knew, I am in the crocodile's grip. It did not automatically go away. He had to do something about it. And the crocodile indeed is the metaphor for ajnanam here, Atma Ajnanam. Atma Ajnanam got hold of his leg and he promised that I will have viveka, I will have vairagya, I will leave everything to dismiss with this Atma Ajnanam. He made a promise to himself. And he told his mom, because you're supposed to take the mother's permission. Because she gave birth to you, she underwent a lot of sacrifice, so sannyasa may not be taken without the blessings of the one who gave birth to you. Father, not so much. Mother, yes. And so he tells mom, look, it will leave me. Just say yes to sannyasa. I feel that whenever I think of sannyasa, it leaves me. It will leave me. And she is so desperate so that he is not eaten alive. Yes, yes, yes. And then after that he is pulled out of the water. The whole river, we are told, turned, that whole area turned full of red blood. The child is picked up, the legs are bandaged, and then he is given, the mother quickly brings him something to eat and drink. And then he says, he drinks a little bit of milk, but he says, I don't have time to eat, I'll take it to go, take away. What do you mean take away? Where are you going? I'm a sannyasi now. What do you mean? That was just for the crocodile, not for you. No, mom, the crocodile did not take sannyasa. I took sannyasa. I took sannyasa. Then this little boy goes from the heart of Kerala down in the south, going through the jungles, going through the forests, going through the hot season, the rainy season, the cold season, regardless of, completely without regard for his comfort. How afraid he might have been, meeting perhaps wild animals along the way, hyenas, jackals, elephants, wild elephants, what to talk of bears, lions and tigers. The journey must have been unbearable. But he made himself free to just walk, cross several modern day states from Kerala to Karnataka to Maharashtra to Madhya Pradesh. 4 or 5 states the boy has crossed at age 8. And then in Madhya Pradesh he sees some caves. And then it's an ashram full of some huts and caves. He goes there and finds out that it is headed by Govindapada, his teacher, meets his teacher and just falls at the feet of the teacher and says, please teach me this, keep me here, let me study. Where have you come from? Kerala. And after several months, and then only after the study of Vedanta, Ajnanam drops. Knowing that knowing that I have Ajnanam is half the battle won. Yes, true. But just because I know I have Ajnanam, it does not resolve. I have to take the terms to dismiss it. I have to make the effort to dismiss it. I have to take the steps to dismiss the Atma Ajnanam, and that's what knowledge of Vedanta is all about. And of course, Jnanam dismissed, Ajnanam remains. Sakshi Bhava is closest to Atma Jnanam. How? That's very easy, because what does the Sakshi do? Observe everything dispassionately. Observe everything without favor or fear. And that is a great gift, because when this observer resolves, where will the observer resolve? Into awareness. And what is this awareness? Satchidananda. And what is knowing I am Satchidananda is what? Atma Jnanam. So where does the observer resolve? Into awareness. So the Sakshi is the last being occupying the place of the Sakshi is the last frontier for duality. The last frontier of duality. Because the Sakshi also resolves. In speech, in sleep, there is no Sakshi. Sakshi has resolved. Is there anything to observe? No. When the Sakshi resolves in sleep, what remains? Satchidananda Atma. So as long as I am in the Sakshi mode, then I am the observer. The observer is dispassionate, so Viveka Vairagya has come. Viveka in the observation, Vairagya in the dispassion and objectivity. And when I am objective, I am close to Ishvara. I am close to what things are like, rather than how I want them to be. I am close to the flow, the grand flow of life. And I go along with the flow rather than resisting the flow. As a Sakshi, I am able to discern all this. And so therefore, it is very close to the nature of the Atma. There are Astika schools like Sankhya which don't accept Ishvara. That's not called an Astika school then. Nirishvara Sankhya. Yeah. Can Ishvara be optional? Yes. If you become a proponent of those schools, then Ishvara is optional. You can't say Ishvara is optional. Can Ishvara be optional? Interesting question, because are you optional? Yeah. Ask yourself, am I optional? If the answer is yes, Ishvara is also optional. But you have to be brutally honest. You can't just say yes, yes for the sake of that. Can you write yourself off? Can you say some days I'll take myself seriously, other days I will not count myself at all? No. You want to be counted. You want to be accounted for. You want to be the most significant thing in the universe. You want to be free. You want to be limitless. You want to be whole. And that is exactly what you are. And that is exactly what Ishvara is. There is no Ishvara other than you. The duality of prayer, etc., is just an interim step to be able to surrender. Without surrender, there is no knowledge. And we cannot bypass Ishvara in the process of gaining Atma Jnanam. The reason we cannot bypass Ishvara in the process of gaining Atma Jnanam is because we are dealing with a manifest universe. You cannot say, I will wait for Pralaya to come. What is Pralaya? Dissolution of the entire universe. Because I don't want to deal with Ishvara, I'll wait to get Atma Jnanam when Pralaya arrives. When Pralaya arrives, are you going to be there? No. Is your question how to get Vedanta Jnanam going to be there? No. Okay, even if by some miracle you are going to be there as a separate entity, where will you go for Guru? Because Guru is where? Pralaya. It's all become one. No Guru, no ashram, no desire, nothing. It's all just one. So therefore, we are dealing deliberately with a manifest universe. That's where the rub is. That's where I do not like people. That's where the people I feel do not like me. That's where I fight. That is my karma bhumi. That is my Kurukshetra, the manifest universe. And when we are talking with about the manifest universe, we cannot discount Ishvara, because that Ishvara alone is the truth of the manifest universe as well as the one that runs it. This cannot be discounted from the standpoint of this body-mind-sense complex, the one who is looking at the universe. So this person has to learn to let go. And that letting go can happen only with the help of Ishvara. That inner growth can happen with prayer, with surrender. Surrender is another word for letting go. And when I let go, I am able to see this. And for that letting go, I need help. And if you ask somebody in your life for help, you will find that they need twice as much from you. They will not be able to help all the time in every respect. So therefore, what do you have to do? You have to pray. You have to forcibly bring Ishvara into your life. Oh, but I feel like I'm faking it. I'm too honest for that. You are not faking it. In fact, if any faking is happening, you are faking it right now. In denying Ishvara or wondering if Ishvara is optional, you are faking it. You are not faking it when you pray. Because that is a natural cry. The cry of the child towards its creator. It's a natural cry for help. Where else to go? Who else to look for help? Everyone is finite. Everyone has their own agenda. Everyone is waiting to rip the person off, to take advantage of the person's sorrow. Only one place you can go. Only one place you can go to lay down your head. And even if it feels deliberate, even if it feels false, do it. Do it and see. If it works, then the exercise has been successful. You gave some days ago the example of Swadharma, of a person who does not know how to dance. How can we identify whether or not we are fulfilling our Swadharma or simply experiencing natural difficulties in the process of new experience? You try. And see how it is. Try, nothing happens, time to try something else. And then if there are certain natural difficulties, you will know. Because there will be some signs that you are good at it. There will be certain signs. And those signs you can heed. You will know. What if I make a mistake? Doesn't matter. What if I make a mistake and leave? Doesn't matter. You can come back to that if you have made a mistake. What if I keep on doing something and nothing happens? Leave it. Leave it and try and see what happens. Don't be worried to make a mistake. Mark Twain said, please make lots of mistakes. Make sure you make no mistakes each time. That means what? We have learned from the mistakes. We don't keep repeating the mistakes. I understand the idea that death of the physical body is inevitable and Atma is neither born nor dying. Hence, accepting the death of an older is easy. But what about the death of a younger one? The body hasn't become old. Just thinking on it was their karma feels like injustice. Yeah, it feels like injustice. Because we are in non-acceptance. We are not in acceptance. We cannot handle, I talked about this today itself. We cannot handle the sudden passing of a young person. What it invokes is one's own mortality and one's own ill-preparedness to accept such a devastating loss. So therefore, we can't, if we say karma, it's not just for trying to wipe the eyes. There is an element of truth there. And why is there an element of truth? Because it's like a shock absorber. When I say karma, I'm putting it aside. I'm not blaming myself. And therefore, it is like a shock absorber. Karma is not fatalism. It's a shock absorber in order to grow. And this is something which is very, very, very beautiful. We have to understand this. Yes, death is inevitable. Sometimes young ones die. But the jiva, that the body was young, it's the body that died. The young one may not have been young. The jiva was probably an old soul, as they call. One doesn't know. But I take the youth of the body, the young look of the body, and I make a superimposition, and then what do I say? Oh, young child died. Young child did not die. A young-looking body perished, according to most people, prematurely perished. And that prematureness we cannot handle, because it invokes one's own mortality, it invokes a sense of loss, it invokes many things. But we come to terms again with prayer, because there's no other way. What other way is there? We make sure give ourselves 1 year to mourn. In the West, it's all just one weekend and it's done. In fact, it's very funny because everything in the West has to happen in the weekend. Even if our Indian festivals fall on a Wednesday, it is performed or celebrated the previous Saturday, Sunday or the coming Saturday, Sunday. Except for death, everything happens on a weekend. This is how it is. And whatever memorial service, and then after that it's chop, get up, go, business as usual. So it's not like that for us. We do, every month we do rituals. For the whole year we are doing rituals. For the whole year people keep coming and visiting the bereaved. For the express purpose of mourning. So in our tradition, we are not afraid to cry it out. We are not afraid to show our feelings and keep the person in our heart for the whole year. This is a very healthy way of living. And even after that, every year we have a smaraka. We have the celebration of a tithi. We call people and feed them. And so like this, we give ourselves the time to mourn, the time to get to a place of acceptance. And we can also help ourselves with the stories told about the Lord Buddha. One woman comes with a dead child in her hands. She's beside herself. She cannot handle this. The child has died. And she puts it in his lap and says, "You know what? You are credited with miracles. You are capable of bringing it to life. Bring it to life right now. I will not take no for an answer." He cannot convince her. He tries to reason with her. No way. So he says, "Okay, I need something to bring this boy back to life." What? I'll go to the ends of the earth and get it. A few mustard seeds. Mustard seeds? Oh, come on, I can do that right now. No, wait. Mustard seeds from a house which hasn't had a death. And she's still so in her grief that she doesn't understand what this teaching is. Goes from house to house. "Can I have some mustard seed?" "Oh, sure, here." "No, but you shouldn't have had a death in your house." "Sorry, grandpa passed away." "Sorry, grandma passed away." "Sorry, lost the father." "Sorry, lost the brother." "Sorry, lost my child." Like this, after going through many houses, she comes back and then suddenly older, suddenly wiser, and says, "Please give me some time to go bury this child. Please ordain me and take me to the Sangha. Teach me that which will help me cross this grief." So there are ways to overcome that. Concept of Swarga and Naraka. Does Atma go to Swarga or Naraka? No. That is Jiva. Atma does not travel. What travels is Jiva. Jiva, what is this Jiva? Atma, which is as though associated with the subtle body and the causal body, which get severed from the physical body upon the incident called death. That travels. Atma itself does not go anywhere. The Jiva travels. The subtle body, which is powered by Atma, of course, because without Atma nothing can be there. So the subtle body, which is powered by Atma, goes to places, enjoys the various bhogas, enjoys the good things too, good experiences. And then from there may go to difficult experiences. And then finally comes back. Atma does not go. And then what else? Or Punya Papa is to be, yes, Punya Papa is what makes the subtle body travel. Arjuna went to physical body to Swarga. How is that possible? That's possible because he had some special siddhi. He had a special, what is that called, boon. Because of that boon, he went intact how he was with the physical body and came back. He is the only heaven-returned person. If Brahman is beyond all concepts including existence and non-existence, no, we didn't say it's non-existent. We didn't say it's beyond existence and non-existence. No. How can we even talk about it? Because it's you. We are talking about its nature because it is you. And what we say is it is Sat, existent. It's the only source of existence. And we can say it's beyond time-bound existence. We can talk like that. It's beyond time-bound existence. It's beyond time, we can say. It's beyond space, we can say. It's beyond time-bound existence, we can say, but we cannot say it is beyond existence. All right. Isn't any attempt to describe or understand Brahman inherently futile, since it transcends the mind and the language? No, because if I describe Brahman as an object, then I can never know it, I can never even describe it. Like this table is what? Object. I can describe the table. It has got a flat surface, it's got 4 legs. And most of the time it is made of wood. I can describe the table. But the table is finite, limited, right here, right now, that's all there is. Brahman is not, he cannot be described as an object. But that doesn't mean that it does not exist, because it need not be described as an object, because it is self-luminous, self-evident I. It obtains as a self-evident I, and that itself is Brahman. So I don't need to describe it as an object, because I understand that I exist. I understand my own existence. So I don't have to describe it as an object. It need not be described as an object. So every attempt to grasp it is futile, yes. But that's why the Shastra has special ways of talking about Brahman. By using the words in the everyday life, Sat, existence. This Brahman is the source of all existence, therefore Brahman is Sat. We don't know what existence is. We think Sat, eternal existence, we don't understand. We think Sat is time bound. But the time boundedness in my definition of the local definition of Sat is removed through the time boundedness is removed. How? The time boundedness is removed by using the word Anantam. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Satchit Ananda. By using that word, the time boundedness is knocked off. And then by using the word Jnanam, Chit, an inert existence, the concept of Brahman being an inert existence, that is also knocked off. What kind of an existence? A conscious existence. And an eternal, unchanging existence. So the words Sat, Chit, Ananda help to remove all kinds of limitations in my understanding of Brahman. And when those limitations are removed, I understand Brahman as what? The truth of myself. This is called Lakshana Vakya, because direct words cannot reach Brahman. Okay, we cannot understand Brahman directly. So the equation between the I, the Jiva, and Ishvara, Brahman, is made through indirectly. Swamiji already gave this example. Supposing you say the white runs. How can white run? Even if we had said it was a color, even white color cannot run. Every other color runs, white color cannot run. So then, what is this? White runs. It's a code word. For what? Horse race. Those who know, they know. And then what is missing in the white runs? Horse. Horse is missing. So then this is called Bhaga Lakshana, where I bring in the horse. The word horse is deliberately left out because I don't want everybody else to know that I am betting on the white horse or I am asking somebody to bet on the white horse. So, like this, it is a code word. And supposing somebody says at a party, The waiter comes and says, "What will you have?" "Bring me some Coca-Cola mixed with some aqua." What is aqua? Water. Yeah. The water is a code word. So therefore, here you have to remove that water. There you brought in the horse, here it is called Tyaga Lakshana. When you remove the word water, okay, I have to add something. Surely they didn't mean water, because the person was acting funny, looking to the left, looking to the right, and also pressed some money for the silence in the waiter's hand. Everybody should think, I am drinking Coca-Cola with water. So, like this is called Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Similarly, out of the word existence, the time-boundedness is knocked off. So that thing is knocked off. And then out of the word Jnanam, Sat, Chit, Ananda, Chit or Jnanam, then we bring in the knower is knocked off. It's neither the knower, nor the known, nor the means of knowledge. We saw a little bit of that in the last 2 days. It's that which supports all three without being any one of them. So like this, some things are retained. The word existence and knowingness, sentience is retained. But the limitations surrounding those words, in my understanding, in the local parlance, is all knocked off, and that is how it is communicated. That's why the Upanishad is so special. The pedagogy is so brilliant. It is really amazing. I thought about this question for decades, and I think I found the answer myself. It has forced me to confront the limits of my thinking and just surrendering to direct experience. By asking this, I have realized the seeker is the sought. Yes, there is no direct experience. You are not shy of experience. You are experiencing Brahman as we speak. Like the gentleman who came from America to Rishikesh. Swamiji also came, he was also traveling from Delhi. He took the small flight to Dehradun. In those days it was smaller still, the flight. And then next to him, this huge man was sitting. And he couldn't handle it. That man even removed the, what is that called? The separating handle. Because he was so big, he could not fit into the seat. He removed, he didn't even ask Swamiji, removed the handle. He was practically sitting in Swamiji's lap. Out of necessity, not because he wanted to sit in the Guru's lap, no. So then he looked, okay, he is also wearing orange. I am also seeking the one who is wearing orange. And he took out his little notebook from his pocket and he says, you are going to Rishikesh? You have an ashram? Yes, I have an ashram, Swamiji said. Here, do you know this Swami? And Swamiji saw what was written? Swaminidyananda. Now, wasn't this gentleman experiencing Swamiji or not? Yes. Directly experiencing, yes? Whether he was experiencing or not, Swamiji was definitely, poor Swamiji was experiencing him very directly. Okay. Yet, he did not know, correct? He had to ask, who is this Swaminidyananda? Do you know him? And Swamiji thought he'll give him a surprise. Yes, I know him very well. But then he said, okay, let me just tell him. It is I, he said. So, experience is there all the time. In and through every experience, you are experiencing all the objects of experience. You are experiencing the experiencer. You are experiencing also the means of experience. What is Brahman? Brahman is the experiencer Brahman? Yes, non-separate from Brahman. Is the experience Brahman? Yes, non-separate from Brahman. Are the means of experience Brahman? Yes, non-separate from Brahman. But all three are Brahman, but Brahman is not any one of them. Lends its existence to light up the experiencer, to light up the experienced, and without becoming any one of them. This you have to know. Otherwise, no amount of direct experience is going to understand, make one understand. We use the analogy of clay and pot in the context of Brahman. While both clay and pot are tangible, Brahman is not. How to understand it? That's how. Because when we keep something tangible, we can, what was that? Yeah, Brahman is not tangible. Yes, correct. When we help ourselves to an example which is tangible, we can understand intangible. Intangible means what? Not an object. Before you start mourning, Ayyo, Brahman is not an object, how will I ever know? It is you. It is the self-revealing, self-existent, self-luminous, self-evident you. It need not be objectified in order to be understood. In fact, understanding clay is harder. Understanding pot is more difficult. Brahman is you, you have access to it all the time. Can person gain the knowledge via hands-on transmission of Shaktipat? Can you gain self-knowledge by osmosis? Somebody has self-knowledge. They say, Aajao, and you go close to them, and they touch you on the head, or they bop you with a, what is that called? The animal, peacock feathers, bunch of peacock feathers. That we don't say that is what gives knowledge. Because then everybody will have gone and gotten Shaktipat. Why spend 3 months of my life trying to understand Upanishad, trying to immerse in the Vedanta, in the Bhagavad Gita, traveling from somewhere, leaving my life behind? Why would I do that? Everybody would go there only. But the fact that many people are drawn to Vedanta makes us see that the problem, we have to again go back to the problem. What is the problem? I don't know. I don't know the truth of myself. Nothing is being added to me. Nothing is being subtracted from me. I don't know my nature. I don't know my nature as free and untethered, limitless. I do not know. Therefore, I have to understand. The antidote of ignorance is what? Self-knowledge. Okay. The Viveka Chudamani says this very clearly. Pathantu shastrani yajantu devan. You can study the Shastra all you want. Shastra means first portion of the Veda. Do pujas. Kurvantu karmani. Do other kinds of laukika karma also. Bhajantu devataha. Find some ishta devatas and sing their praises. Atmaikya bodhena. Without understanding the oneness of the Atma, vina vimuktihi na siddhyati. Freedom is not gained. When? Even after 100 avartanas of Lord Brahmaji. Even if 100 Lord Brahmajis come and go, Brahma Shatantarepi, it is not gained. So all kinds of karma are helpful. Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastu upalabdhaye. Vastu siddhihi vicharena na kinchit karma kotibhihi. The vastu is gained, vastu means myself. The truth of myself, this Brahman is gained only through vichara, enquiry. The karma helps in terms of antahkarana shuddhi. Lots more are left. Maybe we'll have to do this tomorrow. One, two, three, four. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.